was just the off the cobwebs.
Hello, cinema peeps.
Hey, cinema peeps. Just shut up, shut up, shut up, just shut up, shut up.
Sorry, we were just talking about Stranger Things.
Yes.
And someone made a hilarious reel with that song, and I totally forgot. I sent Kendra a whole bunch.
Yes. I have a plethora to go through, and I'm slowly making my way through it. Just like we're slowly making our way through Stranger Things.
Season 2, episode 6. Jesus.
Season 2, episode 6.
Next, I think season 2 has more episodes, I think, than the other ones by 1, I think.
I believe you are correct, yes, because season 1 had 8 and season 2 has 9.
Yes. Of the Lost Sisters episode. Because I was checking, I was like, when's that happening again? Because it is probably... To be fair, I think universally it's not the most favorite episode.
Yeah, I think my mom and I actually skipped that episode. Because she was
like, don't need this.
She was like, I could care less about that really, so can we skip it? And I'm like, okay, fine. And I didn't realize, like, which I guess was a good thing for, like, skipping it, because I was like, well, what if there's, like, other parts of the show in it that we don't want to miss, like, important bits, right? Mm-hmm. But the whole episode is just dedicated to Eleven's adventures in, is it Cleveland she's in, or Pittsburgh, or...
Pittsburgh,
yeah.
Yes. It was because I remember being like, oh my god, and I was like, we didn't go there. It was something Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess, like, I don't know, maybe we still technically have another season, so maybe it'll come back, but it really hasn't come back at all.
I feel
from my recollection, maybe I'm wrong. We do we get to like season 3 and 4, but to my recollection, I don't think.
I think there's a little like nod to it in season 4, because obviously there's that whole bit where 11 and like the whole origins of Vecna and everything happens. Mm-hmm. So I think there might be a bit of a nod to that, but they really they didn't expand on that. So I think maybe they knew that people were like, no,
nobody cares about this.
Yeah.
I will say, it wasn't last episode, but 2 episodes ago, where Dustin has has Darth at his house, and he eats his cat. Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's a baby, and that's the first time I go, oh, that's a baby Demogorgon.
Yeah.
My mom's like, is he eating the cat? I'm like, yes, and she's like, I can't watch. No, Aww. She's like, I will not watch, and I was like, that's valid.
Yeah,
and then. I think the last episode we watched, 11 just got reunited with her mom. And it was a very emotional crying scene. And my mom's just like, these Duffer brothers, they got a sick sense of, I don't know what it is. It's just sick. And I'm like, okay, sure. Okay. I just kept thinking when you were like, and then the baby burst out, and I was like, my mom would not.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mom, there's bad things. There's worse things. Oh, wow.
Yeah, believe me. Oh. Take my word for it.
But yeah, sorry, cinema peeps. Spooky month has been a roller coaster. It has been a roller coaster.
It has, yeah.
But we're finally going to close off. I was hoping to watch at least 2 more films, but I unfortunately did not get around to it with Stranger Things and other stuff. But I finally watched Until Dawn. Oh, excuse me. So I think you touched upon it earlier in the year, because you actually went out in theaters and saw it.
I did. I made the trek to the theater to see it.
I like how it's like the same vibe as like back in my day. I walked, 3 miles or 10 miles?
I trudged through the snow, over the hills, 10 miles.
Same vibe.
Well, to be fair, I mean, well, maybe not to be fair. I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying? I try to go out to the theaters to see the movies that I am excited for and want to see, unless it's not going to be shown in theaters. I just feel like nowadays, kind of with the way everything's going, it feels like the right thing to do. We got to support the theaters and support the filmmakers still. And
gotta support the theaters.
I still enjoy being able to go out and make a night out of it, right?
Well, we went to see Freakier Friday, great time.
Right?
Great time.
Right?
I haven't been to the theater since. I'm just like, I'm just so lazy apparently.
We're just gonna have to get together again so we can go.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Sounds terrible. But anyways, yeah, I think that'll be the last thing we talk about this spooky month before,
Honestly, I
as
think
Mariah
that's the
Carey
best.
say, it's time.
time.
Boom.
I think that's a good way to wrap up Spooky Month, though, because I feel like if you've stuck around the podcast long enough, we're fans of Until Dawn, the game especially. We've played the anthology series that is by the same creators of Until Dawn. Yeah, no, yeah, am I wrong?
I don't know if it's the same creative people, but it's the same studio. So I'm sure
yes,
there's
okay.
still people who probably worked on them, but
in the same universe as Until Dawn, and are also hold on, my brain just farted for a second. I was like,
my brain just went.
it is similar in the like style of game because it's like a choose your own destiny style type story game, horror based, obviously. And yeah, it's just an all-around good time. So if you've never heard of it, or if you have seen it and don't know, if you're like, but highly recommend. It is great.
They are a great time until you make a choice and then it automatically gets your character killed and you're like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that, game?
Right?
How was I supposed to know that I was supposed to not punch this person?
Mm-hmm.
Or fuck, what was my option? I don't remember. I got a character killed like right away and I was like, are you for real?
The things I hated
Like,
the most was like
what?
the quick actions where it was like you had to hit like either X or triangle or whatever. And I just remember my friend and I, when we were playing it together, she'd have to shout them out to me because my brain couldn't register it fast enough. So she'd be like, square! And I'd be like, okay.
No, we do the same shit every time we get together and play one of the Dark Pictures games. We're always shouting what's on the screen.
Yeah, and then we'd have to like put the controller down on the table when you had to like.
Oh, I was gonna say that's what I
not breathe
hated
or whatever.
was
Yeah.
the stay still.
Yeah.
I would try to actually hold the controller, but like I would stiff my entire body up and then stop breathing, which wasn't probably a good thing. But
yeah,
unless you put it on the table, I was like, "There's no fucking way."
that's
how I got Sam killed, and it literally was like the last second, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was so mad, so fucking mad. I was so fucking mad.
But yeah, it's a great time, guys. It's such a good game, very creative, very well done, good storytelling. You got some not cameos, but like some famous faces in there in each game, which is nice. And basically what I'm leading up to saying is that they turned it into a movie, so that was really cool, and we were very excited to find out that they were doing that.
Yes, but I won't lie, I was very worried.
Yes.
I think especially like, and I mean, I don't know, maybe this worked in their favor of like being honest and being like, hey, it's not going to be a one-to-one like
identical storyline
to the game.
Yeah.
Which like
I
think there's a lot of like good like yes, because again, as we always say, like what is the point of just doing it one for one? Like that's kind of silly because like you said, the games are really well written, and I would say like yeah, they're choose your own adventure, but they're very like cinematic game. Like they do play out like movies. I think in their later games that Supermassive makes, there is like a mode where it's just movie watch mode, and you can just sit there and watch. You don't have to play the game. It just has all the cutscenes like cut together. I think there's like you can still make the choices and stuff, but it's very, very basic and linear. So like they are essentially like literally like movies. So,
yeah.
You know, as much as I was excited, I was like, I don't know how I feel about them not doing that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's probably for the best.
Right? That's kind of how I felt going into it, too, when I heard that. And I'm a fan of David Sandberg's, so I trusted that he was going to at least try to do something that would honor the spirit of Until Dawn. And he's very creative in like his choices and stuff. And if I don't know if you've seen it yet, or if you have an interest to, or if anybody does, but he on his YouTube channel he has like a whole like I think 3 or 4 videos of just like kind of him going through behind the scenes of like the practical effects he did and like some horror stuff and just like behind the scenes content, which is really, really cool, especially if you're interested in filmmaking and stuff like that. So highly recommend checking those out too.
And his YouTube channel's Pony something?
Pony Smasher.
Pony Smasher.
Yeah.
Pony Smasher.
Right?
But yeah, I guess we'll just, I don't know where to start. I know you kind of touched upon it way back in May, but it was a very general, because you were like, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Kaylee. And I was like, thank you. I'm a queen. Thank you.
Well, I guess, yeah, let's hear your, let's hear your impressions of it, and then we can kind of dive into it from there.
Okay, we'll do our bestest. But yeah, the story, I think, again, I'm going to say off the top, what I do appreciate about the movie is I feel like it does have, like, this, like, the spiritual, like, the essence of, like, of what made the core game really good.
Mm-hmm.
So you open up with this girl who's being chased by the masked man, and she's begging for not to die again. And then you cut to a year later where you meet this group of friends. Again, they're not one for one to the characters from the game, but, like, there is, like, kind of, like,
there's elements,
you know, yeah. There is okay, I'm gonna say right off the bat, Clover. What an awful name.
I know.
Her name was Clover Parker or something, and I was just like, did we even try?
Right?
What happened?
Yeah.
So that was a wild choice. There's a guy named Max, and they, I guess, used to date, but I guess the joke was that, like, Max still wants her, and the breakup was mutual.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, you were being clingy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have I think her name was Meg, who I think is a step sibling to Max. I don't think they're related, but I thought they talked about their parents being that item.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It kind of just shouted that at me, and I was just kind of like,
yeah.
Okay. All right, whatever.
What?
And then we have Nina, and then we have her new boy toy, Abe.
Abs?
Which also I was like, what kind of fucking name?
Yeah.
He's my favorite character because he was so unhinged.
Yeah.
He was so unhinged. He was my favorite. He opens up with being like, well, as a psych major. And then literally, that man crumbles so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. I was like, Abe, psychology major here. What happened, bud?
Yeah,
what happened?
right.
Anyways, you find out that Clover's sister has gone missing over a year ago, and so they're doing this 1-year anniversary, just like the game, of retracing her footsteps. I think Clover thinks I think she's very much like, I'm going to find her, whereas her other friends are trying to be supportive and thinking like, oh, this is part of her grieving process. But Clover's like, I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna bring her home. So they end up at this gas station, which we run into our favorite man, the psychiatrist character from the games.
Yeah.
Peter Landstorm, something.
Peter Stormare.
Yeah. I knew it was something very stormy. He plays the gas attendee man, and at first I thought it was just a cameo, but we find out later it's not. Very fun.
No, yep.
Basically goes like, oh yeah, Gorge Valley. People go missing there all the time. You gotta find somebody, maybe they're there. And Clover's like, what? Guys, we should go here. They end up in a big storm, and then they end up in this weird house, but it's like in a weird place where, like, the rain just stops.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, like, it's an actual weather phenomenon, but I was like, what the? I was like, I've never heard of this nonsense, but I thought it was just a gimmick in the movie.
Yeah.
But then Clover's like, oh, I think I hear my sister out in the woods, so I'm just gonna go wander into the woods. I'm like, you're crazy. All her friends go inside. They start looking inside the house, and then Nina writes her name into the guest book, and then all hell breaks loose. I think the first person to show up was as they referred to the game, the Psycho Killer. I think they still refer to that in the movie as the Psycho. Which
was technically Josh in a mask in the game, right? Yeah.
And he kills everybody off, and then, oh my god, they wake up, and then they're like, whoa, what just happened? And then later, Max says the line of the movie, maybe if we survive until dawn.
Until dawn.
Until dawn.
He said it. He said it.
Right? Roll them damn credits. But yeah, basically the friends start living through a night of horrors on a constant time loop. And
It's like a very dark, twisted Groundhog Day type scenario.
yeah. And I kept screaming, look for the lore, look for the totems. What are we doing?
Right?
What are we doing here, people? Yeah, and they eventually find out that that Peter's character is the psychiatrist from the game, and that he is doing tests on. He basically traps people and wants to know what their trauma does to them.
Yeah.
And then because of that, makes them turn into the Wendigos. That wasn't
That wasn't
super
very clear. Yeah.
That was a little muddy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, basically they live through all these nights, and then they break the cycle by, I think in part by killing Peter's character in a very hilarious way, I gotta say. But they all eventually survive the night, so then they are free. They burst out from the earth, they are reborn, and then they can finally leave this hellhole. But yeah, that is Until Dawn's like basic plot in a nutshell. Very, very basic. Very, very basic. I don't know. It's hard. I enjoyed it, but like, I don't know, the more I start picking at it, I'm like,
Right? That's kind of how I felt too. Like upon first watch, I was excited for the references. I thought he did a good job of like being creative in kind of incorporating them in. And I don't know if you noticed in the one scene where I think is it Meg who's in the room, like the office room area, and she sees all the missing posters on the wall that Rami Malek's picture was there. And
yeah, Abe was, I think it was Abe. He was,
or yeah, maybe it was him who was
posters because she was in the toilet.
Yeah,
or in the Louvre.
Yeah, because I recognized obviously Rami Malek's picture, and the director also put his picture in there too.
I was like, I remember I was watching my friend, and I was like, I'm sure that's the director.
Yeah,
I had this feeling in my gut, and I figured a lot of those posters were probably like other crew members and stuff.
Yeah,
so I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like a lot of fun little nods to Until Dawn. Like I said, I think they put in a lot of like the essence, and like saying the spirit sounds very bizarre, but without being again a one-to-one thing. I will say off the top, I actually really liked the makeup for the Wendigos. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And again, because you have sent me some of this director's stuff before about how he's really big into the practical effects, so like seeing that, I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then there's that one shot where Clover is running in the tunnels, and she like is stopped, and like it's a set camera, and then like the Wendigo keeps getting closer and closer to her as like the lights flicker up. I was like, oh, that's so fucking good.
Right.
And then there's another one where Meg's strapped to a chair, and the Wendigo is like clawing off the chains to get at her. I was like, yeah, I'm like, that's awesome. But sometimes I felt the Wendigos were treated sometimes like zombies.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, there's a couple instances where I was like, oh yeah, like that's the Wendigo, like this ravaged, like animal predator type thing. And yeah, near like the climax of the film, they were just started throwing them in like nobody's business, and it was just a bunch of people like running down a tunnel, and I was kind of like, And I believe, if I remember correctly, watching his YouTube videos, the director said a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were pressed for time and money. So they kind of had to wing it at that point. Again, worth a watch to find out for sure. But yeah, I do remember him saying something to the effect of they were pressed for time and money, and that was partly why that scene ended up the way it did. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of that, because yeah, then they felt more zombie-like as being horror. And again, there were like, I'm trying to remember from the game, like there is at least, maybe there's only like 6 Wendigo in the whole game, maybe. Yeah, I can't remember, because technically, that are chasing you, because like you meet one of the characters who's like been, like he's captured most of the Wendigos, and he's been trying to hunt like the alpha Wendigo
Yeah.
in hopes to like break the curse of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the lore with the Wendigo, if you've ever watched Supernatural, lol, they have them there. And I know they've been present in other things, but it's funnier that Supernatural is the go-to. But it is a creature born from like cannibalism.
Yeah.
So in the game, as we mentioned, the psycho is Josh. He brings his friends back to the place where his sisters go missing to a year prior. And he, in his like mental state, decides to like torture his friends because he blames them, and it's, and in a sense he also blames himself for not saving his sisters. But one of the sisters goes missing, or they go missing, and the one sister they fall off a cliff, and one dies, but one lives. But then they never find her after like 30 days, so she eventually eats her own sister, and then I think that's. And then they said that's when like the spirit of the Wendigo kind of takes over.
I think that was kind of the twist of the game, was that you were under the, or at least how I remember it was, you were under the impression that both sisters die.
Yes.
Or again, depending on the decisions you made, one died for sure you saw, and the other one kind of disappeared, and you just assumed she died from the elements because it was during winter. And then, it's not until later on in the end of the game when you start to see kind of clues that this sister might be alive when you go into the mines and stuff like that. And then by the end of the game, you realize that she has turned into one of these creatures that they seem to keep encountering. And it's sad. It's because you're like, oh no. And then like, again, depending on how you play the game, if you're Josh, you have an interaction with it.
Yeah, you have to find a very specific clue, because then Sam tells Josh like, hey, Hannah lived, and like she was da-da-da, and because then and then Josh sees that Hannah's butterfly tattoo, haha, the butterfly effect, is on the shoulder of the Wendigo. And like I said, the movie like they do show this, like, again, they show this really cool scene with the VHS tape where Dr. Hill has a patient trapped in a room with a body. He eats it, and then he starts changing into the Wendigo. Like, I thought that stuff was all cool, because again, those are clues you do find in the game. When you go back to the sanatorium, you find all this stuff. And so I was like, okay, that's really, really cool. But again, it was like, they kind of muddled it a little bit.
Yeah.
Being like, it's the fear. And I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
But...
I thought that was kind of and again, whatever his choices were, I just thought using that was kind of a weak premise, because being the Supernatural fan, I love when they like dive into the lore, and in this case, like, Wendigos are a Native American tale, creature, myth kind of thing. And so the fact that in the game you see all these articles everywhere of like, there's these legends, there's all this Native American like symbolism everywhere. And the fact that I just remember there's one newspaper that says like it was featured in like either Edmonton or like it's just somewhere in Alberta is like where this kind of thing happened, and like that's apparently like Alberta's kind of where these creatures originated from, like in the woods of the Rockies of Alberta and stuff like that. So again, being from Alberta ourselves too, I'm like, oh. I was like all about it. Like, and how they did the lore in the game was, it just added to the tone, to the like the mystery and the suspense and everything, and I liked that aspect of it. So I felt, like you're saying, how they kind of switched it around and kind of muddled it a little bit, and it was a little more like he was going, oh, it's based off the fear. It felt very weak. Yeah.
And again, like I said, I do really like the makeup, and there are a couple scenes where I think with like certain, like maybe with the shots and the editing, like they did feel like supernatural creatures, but then there was times they just kind of felt like they were zombies. I was really hoping for like, because again in the game, like their limbs and stuff like elongate and stuff, so I was kind of hoping for seeing some of that, right? But, no. And again, you could make the argument because there was miners in the game, and they kind of looked a little more shrunk down versus Hannah when she was a Wendigo. She had very elongated body parts, so like, you can maybe toss her up. It would have been nice to just kind of see more elongate. I don't want to say those long ass limbs is what I'm saying. I want to say those long ass limbs. And again, speaking of the game, you know, you kind of have this other mystery in the background about these miners that caused this cave-in and end up at the sanatorium. I think it was 30 were trapped, but only 10 or 15 or something who they find in the rescue party. And it turns out they've been turned into Wendigos because they ate the other people to survive. They resorted
to cannibalism to survive, yeah.
And again, keeping that spirit of the Wendigo alive, essentially. And in the movie, they talk about this huge mining disaster that kind of destroys this entire town, killing, like, pretty much a small town's worth of people. I think they said, like, 11,000 people.
Yeah.
And so, in the movie version, Dr. Hill is brought in, I guess, to...
treat the survivors or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess he's like, this is a gold mine for torture. And so he does torture experiments. Which, like, now I think about it, I'm kind of like, then why are they repeating the same day again? Exactly?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, again, like, that kind of stuff didn't really... I guess that was more a nod to the game itself than anything that makes sense with the story. Because technically, like, if you die, you restart again and you get to try...
I mean,
different
to a
scenarios?
degree, yes, I think. But I was reading some people's comments because the whole prep, like, the game makes sure to remind you, like, the very first thing you see in this game, they're like, the butterfly effect.
Right.
One choice can cause a humongous hurricane
Yeah.
and destroy everything.
Blah, 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 blah. You know?
Yeah.
So the game very much emphasizes that every choice is significant. In reality, I think only there's a couple big choices that really matter in the game, but that's neither here or there, people.
But it makes it cool because it's not just your actions. It's like the things you say to the characters. It's what you pick up, what you don't pick up, like how long you take. Like me, I like to go and walk through the whole game and like pick up any little. Like I just go through every inch of the game, whereas some people just fly right through it. And I'm like, but you missed something over there.
I know, same thing. That's why I was screaming at these people the whole time. I was like, look for clues, people. Can we find some clues?
Right.
Right. And so I remember I was reading and people were kind of commenting like the idea of doing the loop is a cool idea because there is like certain games that do have that mechanic that's more prominent. The first one I thought of today was this game called Deathloop, where this guy is trapped on an island and every time he dies, he just restarts it the same day over and over again, and he has to learn how to escape the island. And everything's hunting him. So, like, the game, like, having, like, if they were to adapt into a movie, the time loop scenario makes sense. But, like, yeah technically in Until Dawn, yes, you can restart and try again. And I think that's maybe what he was trying to emphasize, because Clover kept being like, we can't leave anybody behind. So anytime one person died, also, that was wild. Sorry, I know I'm getting off on a weird tangent, but, like, if any of her friends died, she'd, like, turn to Max and be like, can you kill me? And I'm just like, girl, what?
Yeah.
And Max being really nice is kind of like, I can't do that. So, I mean, in that aspect, it's like, yeah. Because I've also watched some people who played Until Dawn who literally, like, stopped playing because they, again, accidentally killed a character. And they were like, nope, I'm just never playing again.
Right? And yeah, like, I think that was, like, a goal for some people was to try to get through the whole game keeping everybody alive or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or killing everybody.
Everybody.
So, like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, sure, but, like, yeah, I guess the time loop doesn't really work with the idea of the game, of the core of the game, which was the butterfly effect.
Yeah, which I would have liked to see more of in that aspect.
You didn't see the little, like, chain? That's
Yeah.
the butterfly effect on Meg.
Right, yeah.
Also, can we talk about Meg? That poor girl. What the fuck did she do?
I know, she went through a lot.
Oh my god. It was night 2, I think. They locked themselves in the bathroom and then they start drinking the water, and I already was like, oh well, nope. And everyone starts exploding.
Yeah, just
for no
imploding,
reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they just do. And poor Meg, because I think, yeah, Abe goes first, then Nia, and then they all escape they all leave the bathroom. And then poor Meg like her leg explodes first,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's just crawling to her friends, begging, like, help me. And then her tummy explodes, and I think still her head explodes before she fucking dies. And I'm like, what the fuck did she do?
Right?
What's going on?
Or there's this, or I can't remember if it was after that or before that, the scene where like her head gets smashed in a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, that was the first time. I was
Yeah.
like, what is happening?
Yeah, she got it the worst, I think.
Right, agreed.
Yeah.
I will say I did like how right after that first time loop, like they all had like bruises or scars of where they were like killed. Like I kind of like that. Again, I think it was a very loose like butterfly effecty kind of thing because they're like, oh look, this is what happened to them the first time, and this is how it's affecting them going forward. And I'm like, okay, sure. But again, I thought it was a cool idea. Do I think it's good for the is it good for the game?
Was it necessary?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I already forgot what tangent was I just talking about. Meg just distracted me because that death was just like so brutal for like no reason. Nope, I don't remember what I was trying to say. Oh right, the time loop. Okay,
Yeah, the time loop. Yeah.
So Hill goes and then finds these people, and he smacks his little lips and go, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking torture these people. So like, why does this location then become a time loop?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm nitpicking here, but like, are we saying he has magical powers now?
Yeah.
Like, how is he able to do this? I guess.
Right?
'Cause, again, I'm assuming it's Dr. Hill who's causing this effect because obviously he's the one who he blatantly says he's like, oh, I like doing tests on people. You know, I like finding people and I like exposing their trauma and figuring out like what makes them tick, kind of thing.
Right.
So again, that's why I'm saying he's probably the one causing the time loop. You know, but again, I have to ask why. And again, maybe that's one of those things he's like, you just have to suspend your disbelief. But I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
That seems like that's a core part of this film. That needs to be a little bit explained, don't you think? A little bit explained,
Just a little bit, I think, yeah.
Or a smidge. I don't know. There are parts of that film I really enjoyed. And there's parts where, like I said, there's like little Easter eggs and like they like have the tone from Until Dawn, but again, it's not a 1-to-1. I enjoyed the Wendigo makeup and some of the scenes. Again, I think some scenes like made them look like zombies. But yeah, the more I think about like the time loop and like how it's implemented, not really explained, and again, the lore of the Wendigo being a little muddy, I'm not fans of that.
Right?
Not fans of that.
Yeah. I think on its own, it's a decent horror movie. And yeah, with the nods to the game, I think that they did that well. Yeah, there's no beating the game. The game is just so good as it is. And as much as like everyone probably would have loved to see a live action version, I mean, like that's as close to a live action movie as you're gonna get, like even just with the like the special effects that they use in the game, like everything's motion cap, which is really cool. And yeah, I just don't think you can replicate it. So I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a watered down version, but as a horror fan, I appreciate the horror elements of it. Yeah, I like that they kind of kept the essence of Until Dawn, and then I think watching the behind the scenes really like made me appreciate it even more from a filmmaking standpoint. So I give it a thumbs up for that. But it's, as far as like this or the game, I'd say, I mean, you can't beat the game.
Yeah. But again, like I would also, I know I talked about this earlier this month or year, I guess, with the Thursday Murder Club. And like how that book, it is like the perspective of all the different characters. Like how do you mesh that into a movie? And the way the game is also like that, because you play through different characters and you get their perspective and what they learn. So again, trying to mash that all together. How do you do that?
Right.
I don't know. But they do kind of a weird hint at the end of like a snowy cabin. So obviously Hill's not dead and he's, you know, maybe this is round 2 for him. Like, you know.
Right.
Or again, paying a nod to like, you know, the game itself, because that cabin did look oddly familiar, you know,
right,
in the snow.
Yep.
But yeah, I think my friend looked it up, and I think it was IMDb or something gave it like a 55%, or maybe it was Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 55%. And I was like, I'd give it a high 60, you know? I'd give it a high 60, like
Yeah.
68 or something, you know?
Right? Like, I had a fun time watching it still.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't feel insulted by it. But as far as, like, again, you're going in with the knowledge of having played the game, it's a little weak sauce, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally forgot to mention. So they do find Clover's sister, and she is turned into a Wendigo because I guess again, fear? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
Yeah.
And I know some people were complaining that she herself kind of looked more zombie-like than Wendigo. For hers, I kind of was, maybe I was being a little more forgiving because I'm like, again, from the games, you like saw the people as like they slowly change into Wendigo, like it's like a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of just how I interpreted it. Like she's still like very early on into her transformation
Right.
of being a Wendigo. So
I think it was the hair that made it like hard to kind of get that, because it's such a long, like with the blunt bangs and stuff like that. Yeah, it just made it kind of very hard to get that. Yeah, she's turning into this Wendigo. Whereas I can't remember in the game, did her Wendigo version have hair and everything? I know they had the tattoo.
No, that was one of the things that actually starts happening first is in Hannah's diary that she was able to keep while being trapped.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple things that happened was that her nail bits were getting dirty and her nails were growing long and her hair was just falling out in clumps, which like the other characters were clearly experiencing. Again, poor Megan was losing chunks of her hair, and then Abe had like the spiny back. Again, thought all that stuff was really cool. Doesn't make sense why that happens to them being killed over and over again.
Yeah.
Little weak sauce. So you would think that like, I think maybe that would have sold it better if maybe the sister was going bald.
Right? If she had like chunks of her hair ripped out.
Yeah.
And she looked a little too neat.
Instead of having this like, pew! But again, I think maybe they were trying to be like, this is clearly the sister.
Yeah.
Because she's still wearing the same dress and the same haircut. And you see the bob? And of course, when I saw her, I was like, what the fuck are you from? And I was like, oh yeah, another teen beach movie. That's what you're from.
That's right, yeah.
I was just like staring and I was like,
I know you from somewhere.
You know, she's trying to like deliver like an emotional piece. And I'm just like, who the fuck are you? I'm like,
Don't you hate when that happens?
No, all the time. All the time, girl. All the time. But yeah, I agree. I still enjoyed my time with it, but yeah, I do struggle where I'm like, I think they did do some really cool things, and I'm just like,
Right.
But yeah, I'd say if any of this interests you today, definitely check it out. Again, maybe not the best in the West, but like, I think we both said we enjoyed our time with it, so like, you know, take it.
It's not the worst reboot that's come out of all the reboots lately.
I mean, I think this is PlayStation's third movie, I think, of them adapting, because they're really big on adapting their franchises now into movies, because I think...
oh, really?
Well, I mean, they had, Uncharted.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I think that inflated their ego a little too much. It did so well, they were just like, everything, because I know, I own the game, but I haven't played it, but there's a game called Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm pretty sure that's been in the works being adapted into a movie.
Oh, wow. They're like, Marvel, here we come. We're coming for you.
I mean, we also have Dead by Daylight still coming out. So
yes, this is true. This is true.
I'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I think we've both said it before. Play the game. Honestly.
Play the game.
Root Tune time.
Yeah.
I think it's still, unfortunately, it might still only be a PlayStation exclusive, but you can play it for PS4 or PS5 if you have one. I don't think it's for PC yet, or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. But if you can, give it a play.
It's a fun time, especially with a bunch of friends. It is a lot of fun.
That is the best time.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyeballs. Oh boy. But I think that'll do it for today's episode.
Well, I'm glad overall that you enjoyed it and that it didn't fully disappoint you, because I was worried that maybe it might disappoint you.
No. No, it did not fully disappoint me. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I think the more, especially thinking about the time loop stuff, I'm just kind of like, huh?
Yeah. There was a few
Huh?
moments that didn't really cohesively mesh together.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a couple things I feel like information was just yelled at me, and I was just kind of like, I didn't hear that. You just yelled it at me. I don't know what.
I'm supposed to accept that?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, treat me like a baby. Like, spoon feed me this information, okay? I don't care, like, how fucking obvious it has to be, but, like, spoon feed me that shit.
It's the opposite of the one character from that movie who, or from, was it Friday the 13th Part 3, who was like, you should know who I am.
Yeah, dumb bitch.
You don't need to know my backstory. You should already know it.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. That one, they just threw the baby food at the wall. And they were like, you don't deserve it because you should know who I am. And I'm like, what? Just give me my food. I'm hungry. Weirdos. But anyways, thank you for listening to us, two cool gals.
Yeah, and that concludes Spooky Month 2025. Yay!
We're hoping for some strong contenders next year, okay?
Yes.
Some strong contenders.
Yes.
But we'll continue our horror journey. But you know what? Mariah Carey is thawed out already. She is ready, and we will be bringing the Christmas cheer. Well, we will for sure be covering Finding Mr. Christmas already aired a couple episodes, so we'll definitely be chatting about that next time.
Yes.
Whether we start doing Christmas movies right off the bat, or maybe take one little Stranger Things break in between, I cannot tell you, people. I cannot tell you.
We will see where the wind takes us.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below if you've watched Until Dawn. Have you played the game? Or did you watch the movie without playing the game? Let us know.
Yeah,
maybe that changes your perspective of it. So let us know in the comments down below. Consider leaving this video a little likesy, and consider subscribing to two pretty cool gals, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, we'll watch all the content. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey.
It's just a prank.
The prank hand. Yeah, the movie gets 0 out of 10. No pranking of Hannah.
Right? I was like, come on, you gotta at least put that line in there.